I'm standing in front of a Mesperlus germanica, a medlar tree, which was planted in 2016, and it's doing pretty well, and the flowers are just finishing, and the medlars are just starting to form at the tips of the branches. And what we've done with this tree is we've removed the great big stake that was holding it. And obviously the worry now is that the tree will catch the wind and blow over, because it's clearly looking a bit top heavy. And to avoid a disaster happening, and because we want the tree to strengthen its own roots and put its own roots out and be able to cope without a big stake, the sensible thing to do is just remove some of the growth and just give it a little bit of a haircut, so that when the strong winds come again this autumn and in the winter, there won't be so much to catch the wind, and we won't have quite so much strain on the stem, and hopefully there'll be less chance of it blowing over. It may seem a bit harsh what I'm going to do, but this is a young and vigorous tree, and I'm just trying to reduce the weight levels just slightly, so that particularly up higher where you can see that it's grown particularly well and will grow again, but it's just gone a bit too far. It's a bit too lax and loose, and by just giving it a gentle trim up, we're reducing the weight, probably ultimately turning the tree into a better shape, and hopefully it'll then live for many decades more without blowing over. I see we've got a few suckers coming up here on the stems. We'll get rid of them. Just reducing the weight. Just a gentle trim, and maybe I'll come back in a year's time and repeat the exercise, just to keep the crown in tight. When I rock the tree, you know, it's feeling a little bit loose. The big stake has been holding it up there, and we need to get this tree growing away properly. The other thing to remember, of course, is that when these medlars enlarge, by the time we get to the autumn, they're really going to be quite heavy. So the branches are going to be bent down with the weight of them, and that's another reason just to give the tree a little light haircut, as we have. You wouldn't necessarily do this to every small tree, but you would do it where the crown or the header of the tree looks a bit out of balance, and that creates the risk of the tree blowing over. And once the tree is blown over and half the roots are broken, however many times you try and stand it up again, we all know what will happen. It'll simply blow over again.